During World War II in France, an archaeologist, Professor Bresson, entrusts his sealed research diary and an amulet containing the book's key to his family as they leave. A few moments later, some Nazi soldiers barge into his house, asking for the book, but he refuses to give it up, so they kill him. The soldiers chase down the family, and their car soon crashes, and the survivors are only the man and his young daughter, who is holding the amulet. But the book gets lost during the chase. A decade later, in Paris, Bresson's archaeological diary book has become renowned, and it is displayed during a memorial exhibition in Bresson's honor. It is said that the diary leads to a location of a vast amount of treasure, and even the Nazis were after it. During the show, a man hurries in with a mail from a famous criminal named Lupin III, in which he indicates that he plans to steal the Bresson diary. The guards are immediately ordered to transfer the diary to a safe, and when one of them tries to grab it, a guard named Letitia figures out that he is actually Lupin himself in disguise, and they try to arrest him. However, Lupin unleashes a green gas which distracts them, and he smoothly escapes into the ceiling. Letitia is tasked to put the diary back, but on her way, she escapes with the book to the rooftop where Lupin grabs the diary from her. Lupin is also surprised that a guard could want to steal the precious book, and she reveals that she also knows more about the book than he could. Lupin escapes by jumping to another rooftop, but another lady named Fujiko hanging from a helicopter grabs it and leaves. Inspector Zenigata and his officers then find Lupin and they catch him in a net while he watches as Letitia escapes safely using a parachute. Letitia reports to his grandfather through a walkie-talkie that she failed to grab the diary, and he is not amused, and he even asked her to forget about their arrangement. Elsewhere in a boardroom, a Professor Lambert informs a group of fugitives led by Gerard that they have finally obtained the Bresson diary, and Fujiko brings in the book just as she had promised. As Fujiko collects her reward, Gerard notices a tracker in the book's case, and they detain her. While as Lupin is being taken to prison, the officers mock him for his failed heist, but he doesn't think so. Soon enough, some of Lupin's friends, named Jigen and Goman, soon appear with their serious and fast hands to stop the journey, and they burst Lupin out. However, the two refuse to follow Lupin in retrieving the Bresson's diary, and he has to go himself, promising not to share with them even a bit of the treasure he finds. Meanwhile, Professor Lambert is trying to devise a key to open up the book, but he fails. Later that evening, as the guard Letitia enters her house in sadness, she receives an unexpected visitor, Lupin, who first eats a shoe before he can explain himself. As Lupin checks around her collection of archaeological stuff and books, he tells her that he is after the treasure known as the Eclipse. He also finds a drawing similar to the amulet he holds, which he claims he inherited from his grandfather. Letitia then heads to the bathroom where she reports to her grandfather Lambert that Lupin has a key similar to theirs, and Lambert asks her to bring Lupin to him, and they will work out that earlier arrangement. Letitia then asks Lupin to work with her to discover the mysteries of the renowned book, and he accepts as they head out. Letitia takes him to the fugitives' hideout, where she first reveals that her parents died in an accident. Lupin begins to suspect the place, and they find out the base is a large, customized plane, which they sneak in. They enter Lambert's room from the roof, where Lupin cracks open the safe and they find the diary. As they open the book with the key, the tier counts down, requiring a code, or else it explodes, and Lupin guesses correctly, but he refuses to tell her the secret word until later. Inside the diary, they learn that the eclipse is a gift from an ancient civilization, but it is written in different ancient languages, indicating that Bresson wanted an archaeologist to find it. Letitia is able to read, and it says that the eclipse is a generator for infinite energy, and she figures out its location is 40 kilometers away, at a city in Mexico. However, before continuing, Letitia points a gun at him, and the other fugitives appear, but Lupin already figured out the setup, and he surrenders. Lambert congratulates Letitia while Lupin mocks her so-called grandfather, who claims his research institution is from Annernerby, and he is detained. Later, Letitia asks Lambert to fulfill the arrangement of taking her to Boston University to study archaeology, but he refuses and reminds her about how he already helped by taking her in from an orphanage. She insists, and Lambert promises that once all is over, she can go wherever she wants. Later, when Lupin joins Fujiko in capture, she uses this opportunity to defeat the guards and escapes with a smaller plane. She also left the handcuff keys for Lupin, which he later uses to free himself, and goes to eavesdrop on Gerard and Lambert. There he learns from the two that they're planning to take the Eclipse to Adolf Hitler, who has supposedly faked his death and is hiding somewhere in South America. Letitia also overhears them and confronts them while also figuring out that his grandfather works at a Nazi research base. Gerard then throws Letitia out of the plane, despite Lambert's protest, and Lupin follows her out. The two are then rescued by Fujiko, and their plane is attacked by the fugitives, but they're again saved on land by Lupin's friends Jigen and Goman. However, their car is also destroyed, leaving them stranded, and Lupin summons Inspector Zenigata to his location and steals his Interpol helicopter. Zenigata manages to get back on board, and after learning about the project, he teams up with Lupin's gang. During a stopover, Lupin reveals to Letitia that he figured out she is not actually Lambert's granddaughter since he adopted her because she was the rightful heir to the key. He also reveals that it was her name, Letitia, that opened up the book, indicating that her grandfather is actually Bresson. While she sobs for being used and feels guilty, Lupin also hands her the amulet and also the diary, which he stole before jumping out of the plane. Lupin also sees the Lupin flower drawing on the diary, and he figures out that it was actually his grandfather who designed the locks, which is why he ended up with a similar amulet key, indicating that the two were collaborators in the project. Gerard and Lambert find the Eclipse's hiding place, but are unable to proceed past its traps without the diary, forcing them to return to find Lupin. While they are away, Lupin's team enters the hideout where they manage to get past all the obstacles, but Lambert's team soon arrives and captures them after their little ruse fooled them. Lambert and Gerard activate the Eclipse, which carries them and Letitia back to the surface, but Lupin's team intercepts them before they can escape by stopping Lambert's plane. Lambert then uses the Eclipse to get the plane to fly again and generates a black hole to attack them, but they survive. Lambert then reveals he plans to use the machine as his own possession and rule the world, but he first plans to destroy Berlin. This angers Gerard and he fights him, but then he sees Letitia controlling the device. Gerard then fires a shot towards her, but Lambert steps in to take it, and he dies. Right afterwards, Gerard receives the news that Hitler had been located in Brazil, and takes the Eclipse and Letitia to him. There he meets with Hitler, and after sending Letitia away, the two go to test the Eclipse. However, Gerard smells a rat when he sees Hitler start to walk. On the other side, Letitia discovers that the guard taking him is actually Jigen in disguise, and she is also excited to meet the others. They explain that Zenigata contacted Interpol, and they arrived there and seized the base, and then called Gerard through the transmitter. Back on the Eclipse, Lupin reveals himself and explains the real Hitler died long ago, and Interpol faked his presence. Gerard attacks him, and Lupin accidentally creates a black hole inside the ship with the Eclipse, which sucks Gerard inside and consumes the ship, while the others watch from below, hoping for a miracle for Lupin. A few moments later, Lupin safely lands at the shore, after he used a gravity device he stole from the Eclipse hideout. Fujiko leaves with a boat full of Nazi artifacts, and later Lupin heads out with his two other friends, leaving Letitia behind, since coming with them isn't a good idea. However, he also leaves Letitia with an invite to Boston University, after he submits himself, which greatly excites her. Inspector Zenigata and his Interpol team also pass by saluting Letitia Bresson and chasing after Lupin and his associates, as the exciting film comes to an end. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. I'll be back with another interesting movie recap. Until then, take care.